Our next author is going to talk to you about relationships in a way you may never have thought of before. I can't wait for you to meet her. She is the author of Damsel No More, The Secret to Slaying Your Anxiety and Loving Again After an Abusive Relationship, Emily Davis. Damsel No More. You're looking sort of damsel-y right now, so come a little closer to me and tell me, what is this book about? What are you about?
So I'm a gamer, and I'm a lover of all things fantasy, as you probably could tell in some small way. And I'm also an abuse survivor. And what I was discovering, as many gamers know, is that when I played video games, a lot of my anxiety after I was healing from that process and in a new healthy relationship, it was helping to play games, and mainly role-playing games. And so I had a thought like, wow, what if I could actually leverage this to actually help people heal in a conscious way and use games as a tool in a way that actually people could put themselves in the game and heal their pain in a way that wasn't scary. Because so often when you're healing from abuse, it is scary, but people tell you it's scary. And that makes it worse and way, way harder.
Right. So I've been through an abusive relationship, and it was just hours and hours of therapy. Like, it was, I would say, more even hard than scary, because I'd have to go to therapy, and then I knew I was going to cry, and then I had to go back to work and all the things. Absolutely. But when you talk about gaming, so you're talking about online, the multi-user game, like Dungeons and Dragons and World of Warcraft and things like that. Is that what we're talking about?
Kind of. So what I've written into the book, it's actually, I call it the world's first healing RPG, so role-playing game. And this is going to appeal to anyone who plays Dungeons and Dragons, all the way up to Final Fantasy. Anything along those lines, where you're creating a character, this is exactly the same thing. It's really fun, it's really creative, and it's also incredibly powerful to help heal anxiety in a new relationship so that you don't feel all the fear and guilt that's left over from your ex.
I love it. It's such an interesting approach. I know I'm a mom of a kid who plays Fortnite, which is a different kind of game, but still a game. And I really was offended by all the guns, and I didn't want him to play. And somebody suggested to me that I just play with him one time. And my child struggles with anxiety. And I realized that the reason he played, I'd heard people say this thing you just said, gaming helps with anxiety. I actually had heard that, but I thought it was because you were just avoiding things or buffering. But it's actually a way to process anxiety, not just to avoid it, right?
Absolutely. So yes, you can use it as an anxiety buffer, right? Or like you said, or a way to bypass your anxiety or your feelings, the stuff that's scary. But the way I always gamed was to actually take myself out of myself and actually work through some of my stuff. So it definitely is that. And then what my book does is just take that one step even higher, and really, really amplify that so that you not only are playing a game, but you are healing very consciously at the same time.
So cool. All right. So this is obviously something you thought about before you wrote, but not an easy topic to write on. This isn't a cookie cutter topic. People think that, authors open up a blank page and they start writing. That's not usually how it goes. So I want to hear, how did you defeat the blank page? What did you do differently than maybe you thought you would do, or what you think other writers do?
Well, to be totally honest, I've always been seeing myself as a fiction writer. I've written fiction a whole bunch, and I always loved writing fiction, but I knew I wanted to write this book that meant so much to my heart. But I didn't know anything about nonfiction writing. That was absolutely baffling to my brain. And so if I didn't have an outline or a process like you give us in this program, I don't know what would have come out on the page, if anything did at all. I probably would have turned some wheels and then gone back and written my novel some more. So this is this program alone has really, really helped me actually understand the process that a book can make a difference in such a real way.
And you actually got some fiction into your book though too, right? Sneaky girl.
I did. It's funny. People are like, is it a nonfiction book? I'm like, yes and no. It's both. It's a both, because storyline is so important to my book and so important to my readers, because it is a game, and games have storylines. They have cutscenes. And so my book does too.
I love that. Takes a special editor to be able to handle fiction and nonfiction in the same piece. I feel like we need to do a shout out. Who's your editor?
Oh, 100% Mariah and Aura. they absolutely killed it, and they both told me how fun it was to like play a game along with me, and so it was just absolutely amazing that they understood and completely tackled it, and they did amazing.
Amazing. I love that. I want to show people this book. Emily Davis is the author of Damsel No More, The Secret to Slaying Your Anxiety and Loving Again After an Abusive Relationship. Congratulations on this amazing book.